Some indie games don't even feel indie, and that's a compliment. They may not have million-dollar budgets, but they've got something many AAA titles are missing: soul, passion, and the guts to try something different. Every game on this list was made with purpose, creativity, and a visible love for the craft. These are titles that surprise you, leave a mark, and often get overlooked by those chasing only photorealistic graphics. If you're new here, welcome to Play Hunters, and if you'd like to support the channel, hitting that subscribe button would mean a lot. From one gamer to another, tell me, which indie game caught you off guard and earned your respect? Drop it in the comments, and let's dive into the first game. What was promising in Hyperlight Drifter now returns with even more ambition. Hyperlight Breaker shifts into vibrant 3D, blending desert biomes, alien forests, and high-tech ruins in a visual style bursting with identity. Despite its stylized art direction, the game stuns with its detail and fluidity. Every frame looks hand-painted, yet moves like a modern action game. The gameplay leans into speed, fast combat, aerial moves, slides, and constant motion. Nothing feels clunky, everything's responsive and momentum-based. Enemies vary wildly in shape, behavior, and strategy, pushing you to act fast and stay sharp. The game encourages free exploration and creative approaches without locking you into predictable paths. The story unfolds in fragments, like the original, but the world now seems eager to speak. Ruins hold secrets, characters come and go, and a backdrop of fallen civilizations looms over it all. It's not about following a script. It's about uncovering a broken universe. The decay and emptiness stretch far beyond the bright colors. Even without blockbuster marketing, Hyperlight Breaker already feels bolder and more memorable than many big-budget clones. It hooks you through control, mystery, and the urge to press forward even when you don't know what's waiting around the corner. While most games chase realism and explosions, Citizen Sleeper 2 dares you to slow down and think. Its visual style sticks to neon tones, worn textures, and old-school interfaces ripped from a crumbling future. It's not traditionally beautiful, it's raw and authentic. The fringe of human society in space is crafted with care, even without any gameplay revolves around decisions and resource management. Time, energy, risk. Every move matters. A single roll of the dice could end your cycle. The tension doesn't come from combat. It's from trying to make it one more day. The mechanics seem simple, but choices cut deep. You live through odd jobs, shady deals, and broken promises. And it works because every decision has urgency and weight. The narrative unfolds through rich dialogue and grounded characters. Nothing feels stereotypical. You're not saving the galaxy, you're just trying to stay afloat in it. Issues like identity, bodily autonomy, and tech-fueled inequality simmer below every conversation. It's all delivered with restraint, but purpose. Citizen Sleeper 2 won't dazzle your screen, but it will shake you internally. It's the kind of game that leaves you changed. And let's be honest, not even the most expensive AAA games always manage that. Skate Story is poetry on a board. It's a skate game, but not the one you expect. Instead of concrete and punk rock, you're a glass demon skating toward the light. That's right, its look blends vaporwave and surrealism, all shards, sparkles, and light-sensitive visuals. And somehow, it's breathtaking. Every trick leaves a shimmering trail in the air. Gameplay is all about flow. It's not just doing tricks, it's doing them with rhythm and grace. You gain speed, slip through dreamlike spaces, and link moves like a choreographed dance. The challenge is maintaining that flow, keeping your fragile glass form balanced while navigating ghost-like hazards. It's tough and mesmerizing. The narrative isn't spelled out, it's abstract, maybe even spiritual. You skate upward from hell, and each world feels like a metaphor for pain, fear, or release. The music, the level design, the strange architecture, they whisper more than they say. This isn't a game to analyze, it's one to feel. Skate Story is a visual, tactile, emotional journey. No blinking HUD, no hand-holding tutorials, just you, the board, and the void. Its weird simplicity is exactly what makes it unforgettable. While other games scream for attention, this one says everything in silence and glass. Paralives is what sim life fans have always wanted: more freedom and depth. It trades hyper-realism for something warmer and more personal. The build system is completely open, letting you stretch, move, and resize anything with a mouse. And even before release, it's already looking more complete than many big-name competitors. This is a game about imagining and making it real. Gameplay centers on creating and managing the lives of parafolks. You shape their personalities, careers, relationships, and daily routines, all with surprising detail. But the real magic lies in how much you can customize, not just furniture or outfits, but how people interact and connect. It's a sandbox that never says no. Its world blends realism with cozy fantasy. Every part of the neighborhood is explorable, editable, and lovable. Social interactions aren't just canned animations. They react to moods, context, and past choices. It's not about building a perfect house. It's about telling human stories that only exist in that space. Paralives doesn't shout. It quietly amazes. It's an indie title already leaving big-budget rivals behind when it comes to creativity, accessibility, and heart. It doesn't promise a perfect life. It gives you the tools to build your own. Tiny Glade is pure charm distilled into a relaxation game. No goals, no pressure, no combat. You just build tiny castles and cobblestone paths in flower-covered fields while the world gently responds. The visuals feel like a living picture book. Soft colors, cozy textures, and animations filled with warmth. There's no HUD, no stats, just you and peace. Gameplay is all about simple gestures. Draw a line, and a fence appears. Sketch a circle, and a courtyard unfolds. The building system doesn't follow strict rules. It flows organically from your input. This creates structures that feel natural and unique, as if the world itself is helping bring your imagination to life. It soothes and inspires at the same time. There's no direct story, but there's narrative in what you create. Every tiny village, rounded tower, or hidden gate feels like a page from a fairy tale, and the environment reacts. Rabbits dash by, leaves float on the breeze, and the ambient soundscape wraps you in a dream. You don't play to win, you play to smile. Tiny Glade is a reminder that games can also be comfort. While most titles pile on stress with health bars and urgent tasks, this one just wants you to breathe and make something lovely, and it pulls that off with a simplicity that borders on magical. Wanderstop is one of those games that seem unassuming at first, until you realize what it's making you feel. You play a retired warrior, running a tea tent in a magical forest. Sounds simple, but it's really about pause, not action. The art blends soft realism with gentle fantasy, creating a world that quietly asks you to slow down. Gameplay shifts between tending the space and talking to strange visitors. You brew tea, tidy the tent, listen to stories, and share silences. The mechanics are light and intuitive, but the heart lies in the interactions. There's no rush, no enemies, just the rhythm of the woods and your new purpose. Over time, you'll notice you're not just healing others, you're healing yourself. The story is quiet but layered. Bits of your character's past come through slowly, revealing who she was, what she lost, and why she stepped away. Each guest brings insight or challenge, and conversations deepen as you open up. It's about facing trauma, choosing peace, and refusing to keep fighting when the world expects you to. Wanderstop chooses silence over spectacle. It trusts the power of a pause, a warm drink, and a gentle chat. And in that quiet, it says more than many blockbusters ever do. Mandragora channels that early 2000s gothic dark fantasy vibe, but with a modern edge. It uses a grim 2.5D art style full of twisted creatures, crumbling castles, and cursed forests. Even with limited camera angles, the environments feel heavy and rich. Beauty and rot walk hand in hand here, and it shows in every frame. Gameplay is sharp and demanding. It merges Metroidvania exploration with Souls-like combat. You fight tough enemies, unlock new paths, and grow stronger through meaningful upgrades. Every weapon has weight, every enemy a rhythm, and every mistake costs you. But it's never unfair. The tools are there, and it's up to you to master them. The story takes place in a world overrun by creatures of entropy. You're part of a crumbling resistance, searching for scraps of hope and knowledge in a corrupted land. NPCs are bitter, lore is soaked in sorrow, and choices offer no clear right answers. This isn't a tale of redemption, it's about holding the line. Mandragora feels like a dream or nightmare brought to life. Its mechanics are sharp, and the world sticks with you. No filler, no long tutorials, just a brutal world and a single invitation: survive and find what still matters. Bionic Bay is chaos and precision in perfect sync. It starts as a classic platformer but quickly reveals a unique movement system based on gravity shifts and physics. The look is minimal but sleek, dark tones, neon flashes, and particles that highlight every move. Everything feels crisp and tightly tuned, and that's essential because the game demands total control. You run, jump, and throw a device that teleports you wherever it lands. Sounds simple, but it becomes a dizzying puzzle of timing and skill. You'll need to think fast, predict movement, and execute perfectly. When it clicks, it's hypnotic. Each level becomes a dance of motion. The story is wordless, hinted through post-apocalyptic, tech-heavy environments. Strange creatures, machines, and abandoned structures suggest collapse and maybe renewal. You won't get answers, only visuals and weird encounters that stir curiosity. The focus is less on plot, more on atmosphere. Bionic Bay is small in scale, but massive in precision and challenge. While other games dazzle with explosions, it grabs you with movement and gravity and keeps you playing for hours. Ratatan looks chaotic on the surface, dozens of tiny characters dancing, shouting, and fighting at once, but beneath that chaos is a rhythm-based strategy game with heart. It's the spiritual successor to Patapon, and everything moves to the beat. The art is wild, expressive, and full of charm, with hand-drawn animations and bold colors that bring every screen to life. The gameplay blends music, timing, and tactics. You don't just attack, you command your squad with rhythmic inputs. March, defend, cast, all in sync with the soundtrack. It starts simple but gets intricate fast, requiring coordination and awareness. You build your army, assign roles, and respond to enemy threats in real time. Every beat matters. There's a light narrative about saving the world, but the emotional core is in how your band of warriors evolves. The connection grows as you lead them through bizarre biomes, collect new instruments, and overcome strange foes. It's fun, but there's also something personal in leading this tiny musical army to survive and triumph. Ratatan is weird, loud, and full of soul. It's a reminder that rhythm isn't just for music games, it can drive a whole world. It might look silly, but don't be fooled. This game marches to its own beat, and it's impossible not to follow. Solarpunk imagines a future where the world didn't fall apart, it got rebuilt, greener and smarter. Floating islands, wind turbines, glowing trees, and sleek eco-buildings define its look. It's bright, serene, and hopeful, ditching the usual apocalyptic setting for something that feels like a deep breath. The art style is colorful and soft, like a painting of a better tomorrow. The gameplay mixes crafting, farming, and exploration. You generate energy, purify water, build homes, and terraform your floating world with solar-powered tools. It's cooperative too. You can play alone or with others, sharing tasks and dreams. Nothing is rushed. You explore at your own pace, shaping a paradise above the clouds. The story isn't spelled out, but the setting implies a world that once collapsed and found its way back through Coracer and clean tech. Every system, from the food you grow to the machines you build, is part of a bigger message. We can fix things. And it doesn't have to be grim. Solarpunk isn't loud or dramatic. It's peaceful, generous, and full of quiet ambition. While most survival games focus on danger, this one focuses on care. It shows that building the future can be joyful and beautiful. Morsels feels like a cozy afternoon in game form. You run a small kitchen in a tiny town where each dish tells a story. The art is warm and welcoming, with soft pastels and detailed animations that make every meal look delicious. There's no rush, no stress, just you, your ingredients, and the people who come through the door. Gameplay is centered around cooking and serving. You prepare meals by hand, chop, stir, and plate with care. But it's not about scoring points or speed. It's about making someone's day better. Each customer brings a bit of their life with them, and your food becomes a way to connect. The narrative unfolds through conversations and the dishes themselves. You learn about the town, its history, its people, and your own place in it. Every recipe feels like a memory, and every ingredient has meaning. It's a slow burn, the kind that warms you more the longer you stay. Morsels is small and heartfelt, a game about kindness, memory, and food as love. It doesn't shout, it simmers. And in a world of loud, fast games, that quiet warmth is its greatest flavor. Fraymakers feels like a love letter to the indie world. Instead of gathering big-budget heroes from massive studios, it brings iconic characters from beloved indie games to duke it out in fast-paced arenas. Everything's rendered in pixel art, but with buttery smooth animations, vibrant effects, and countless Easter eggs. Imagine if Super Smash Bros. Were made by pure passion and community effort. Gameplay is fast, technical, and highly customizable. Each fighter comes with moves pulled straight from their original games, and you can even call in assist characters from other indie titles. The combat rewards reflexes, screen awareness, and stage control. Full mod support turns it into a living platform for creativity and competitive play. There's no deep storyline, but the respect for each character's universe makes everything feel unified. This isn't just a battle, it's a celebration. Each stage brims with fan service, and the attacks themselves are packed with references. A wink, a theme song, a nod only fans will catch. It feels like the devs had as much fun making it as you will playing it. Fraymakers doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. It adds stickers, paints it neon, and drifts into battle with joy. It's chaotic, loud, surprisingly polished, and incredibly fun. Proof that love for indie games can speak louder than any marketing budget. Nivalis is a cyberpunk life sim that ditches the gunfights and grim dystopias. Here, you're just a regular person, maybe running a bar, a noodle stand, or a small shop, trying to carve out a life in a glowing, rainy city full of strange faces, floating ads, and alleyway secrets. The visual style leans into stylized realism, painting a vibrant but grounded world. The gameplay focuses on routine and personal growth. You manage your business, decorate your home, interact with locals, and slowly shape your life. But the world isn't static. Weather changes your sales, choices have consequences, and even a missed delivery can ripple into something bigger. Drama here comes from the small moments, not explosions. Narrative unfolds naturally. Characters show up, open up, and bring stories that blend into yours. There's romance, mystery, politics, and existential questions about purpose and identity, all delivered at your pace. Nivalis doesn't push, it invites. It's a game that looks at the ordinary with care. Instead of epic quests, it offers quiet, neon-lit nights and conversations that stick with you. Nivalis tells you, this world is yours to live in. And before you know it, every rain-soaked street corner starts to matter. Pocket Bravery is an explosive mix of nostalgia and modern fighting game finesse. Inspired by 16-bit legends like Street Fighter and Fatal Fury, it delivers charismatic fighters, vibrant backgrounds, and over-the-top moves in slick pixel art. But under the retro visuals lies a deep, technical combat system made by people who truly get the genre. Fights are fast, responsive, and packed with mechanics for advanced players, cancels, counters, full bar supers, and even energy modes based on each character's unique element. It's not just button mashing, it's about timing, spacing, and reading your opponent. While beginner-friendly, it's clearly built for competitive scenes. The story unfolds through individual routes, with sharp artwork and a soundtrack full of energy. Each fighter enters the tournament with their own motives, wrapped into a larger plot about power, corruption, and personal battles. It's classic fighting game storytelling, full of drama, rivalries, and that anime-style flair we all love. Pocket Bravery isn't just a tribute, it's a bold new entry in the genre, a Brazilian fighter with style, weight, and space to grow. It doesn't need flashy ads to shine, just a controller and someone to face off against. The Stone of Madness drops you into an 18th century psychiatric institution where nothing can be trusted, not even your own senses. The hand-drawn visuals resemble old medical illustrations, eerie, textured, and discomforting. Every room hides a secret, and every character carries a fractured past. It's beautiful in a sickly, unsettling way. Gameplay blends stealth with real-time strategy. You control different inmates trying to escape, each with unique abilities and mental disorders. While exploring, you manage sanity, make tough decisions, and avoid guards. But the real challenge comes when the game starts messing with your perception. Things vanish, voices whisper, paths shift. Soon, you're questioning everything. The story is heavy, but thoughtful. It doesn't romanticize mental illness. It throws you into the character's vulnerability. Every backstory is delivered with weight, sometimes discomfort. Yet there's empathy, glimpses of hope, and rare moments of peace. It's not about winning, it's about understanding. The Stone of Madness doesn't want to be easy. It wants to pull you out of your comfort zone. A bold, haunting indie that uses mechanics and aesthetics to explore pain, control, and liberation, crafting one of the most distinct atmospheres in the indie scene. Slay the Spire 2 arrives with a tough task, to follow up one of indie gaming's biggest hits. But instead of reinventing everything, it does something better. It refines what already worked. The art has been upgraded with sharper lines, richer colors, and smoother animations, while keeping that distinct stylized charm. Every card, enemy, and effect feels more alive, without clutter. Gameplay sticks to the roguelike deck-building core, but adds new layers. New characters, bolder synergies, crazier card effects, and even tougher choices. It rewards experimentation, demands situational awareness, and offers a razor-sharp balance between chaos and control. Every run tells its own story, sometimes epic, sometimes tragic, always compelling. The story remains subtle, but deeper. You learn through symbols, short text, and the connections between creatures and places. It's not told, it's felt. Hints are buried in each encounter, and you piece it all together over time. The narrative emerges from your decisions, your failures, and your improbable victories. Slay the Spire 2 doesn't need hype, just one turn. One combo, one gamble, one clutch play. That's all it takes to get hooked again. And no other game does what it does with such elegance. Good Heavens is divine chaos in roguelike form. You play as an angel who decides to fix celestial bureaucracy by punching it into order. The visuals mix soft pastels with pure mayhem, fluffy clouds, trumpet explosions, and harps turned machine guns. It's fast, weird, violent, and adorable all at once. Every run feels like holy pandemonium on the edge of collapse. The gameplay recalls Enter the Gungeon, hectic action, dodge rolls, wacky weapons, and randomized rooms. But here, everything revolves around divine powers with unpredictable effects and slapstick chaos. The game isn't just tough, it's hilarious. You'll laugh even as you lose control. Story bits appear between heaven's floors. You meet washed-up saints, bored gods, corrupt archangels, and forgotten prophets. It's irreverent satire with a surprising dose of truth, mixing comedy with sudden moments of clarity and even melancholy. It walks the line between parody and sincerity with style. Good Heavens is sacred nonsense done right. A game that pairs intense action with existential jokes and delivers smart fun with heart. Just another reason why indie devs are creating the kinds of worlds no one else dares to. Hard West 2 takes the Wild West, sprinkles in the supernatural, and wraps it in tight turn-based strategy. Every shot matters, and so does every move off the battlefield. The visuals are stylish, with sun-drenched deserts, ghost towns, and ominous railroads leading into darkness. It's a western dipped in shadow, where curses ride with the wind. The combat thrives on aggressive momentum. Landing a shot often gives you another turn, opening the door for wild combos if your positioning is smart. The bravado system, character powers, and poker card upgrades add deep layers. It rewards bold thinking and punishes hesitation. You follow a cursed gang trying to reclaim their souls after a heist gone wrong. Each member has a past, a reason, and scars that unfold through choices, events, and dialogue. The story is thick with betrayal, vengeance, and redemption, told with a classic Western pace and a soundtrack that sticks with you. Hard West 2 proves there's still room to innovate in tactics. It blends atmosphere, challenge, and storytelling into something sharp and fresh. While others play it safe, this game loads the chamber, tips its hat, and dares you to draw. Infernax throws you straight into the brutality of old-school gaming. With 8-bit visuals and buckets of pixelated blood, it follows a knight trying to cleanse his cursed kingdom of a demonic plague. But don't be fooled by the retro look. This game is packed with moral choices, branching endings, and decisions that truly change the world around you. It drips with medieval darkness and feels like a corrupted NES cartridge brought to life. The gameplay blends Zelda 2's side-scrolling style with Metroidvania depth. You'll explore labyrinthine castles full of traps, secrets, and grotesque monsters. Weapons and spells feel heavy, and the challenge demands precision, especially during over-the-top boss fights. As you progress, you unlock new skills, magical upgrades, and armor that reshape how you fight and explore. The most impressive part? The decision system. Save or abandon, exercise or punish, trust or suspect. Every action affects the story and unlocks new paths. You'll meet shady NPCs, creepy cults, and ancient legends, all woven into a world bursting with lore. And the deeper you go, the more you want to uncover what hides in the shadows. Infernax is bold, brutal, and unforgettable. It uses retro aesthetics as a tool, not a crutch. And with all its pixel simplicity, it offers more gameplay depth and narrative consequence than many modern blockbusters even dare to try. Blue Fire is one of the most unexpectedly great 3D indies in recent years. Visually, it blends light, shadow, and surreal architecture with small figures in a massive, mysterious world. Every area feels lonely, open, and interconnected, like you've been dropped into a forgotten kingdom built to test your skills. Minimalist, but full of character. Gameplay is a mix of tight platforming and quick combat. You run, dash, wall jump, attack mid-air. Every move counts, and every second matters. The challenge arenas, called Void Zones, are nightmare gauntlets full of floating traps, vanishing floors, and pixel-perfect jumps. And when you nail a section, it's pure satisfaction, like you just tamed chaos itself. The story is delivered in fragments, quiet characters, cryptic notes, and the ruins of a fallen world. It's all about corrupted energy, a shattered kingdom, and the mystery of your own origin. You can follow the main path or stray off into hidden passages looking for powers, upgrades, and forgotten lore. Blue Fire may look small, but it grows with every area you unlock. It doesn't rely on flashy graphics. It pulls you in with challenge, precision, and a world that begs to be explored. A true indie with the heart of an epic adventure. Unsighted is a hidden gem from the Brazilian indie scene, set in a dystopian future where androids are running out of time before losing consciousness. It mixes real-time action with emotional storytelling and tough decisions. The pixel art is clean and expressive, packed with subtle effects that make the world feel alive and crumbling. The gameplay takes cues from classics like Zelda and Hyper Light Drifter, but cranks up the pace. Combat is snappy and demanding, with tons of weapon combinations and skill-based mechanics. You can equip chips, upgrade builds, dual-wield guns and blades, parry or dodge like a pro. Everything plays out in real time, and enemies won't wait. What hits hardest is the time system. Every NPC has an invisible timer. When it runs out, they become hostile, unsighted. That means shopkeepers, allies, and even friends can be lost forever if you don't act fast. It's brutal, but it fits. This is a world where every minute matters and every loss stings. Unsighted doesn't hand out easy answers or forgiveness. It's a game about urgency, sacrifice, and empathy, testing your reflexes and your heart. Underneath it all lies one of the most clever and emotionally gripping indies of the last few years. Death's Door doesn't need a flashy intro to grab you. Right from the start, its moody visuals, melancholic world, and emotional soundtrack pull you into a place where everything feels weighted with meaning. You play as a soul-reaping crow, harvesting the life energy of strange creatures in a crumbling universe where even death has lost its way. The gameplay blends tight combat with interconnected exploration in a Zelda-like format. You unlock shortcuts, battle creative bosses, and solve puzzles while upgrading your abilities with new spells and sword techniques. Every enemy has its own rhythm, and the game demands focus and timing but never feels unfair. The action is quick, fluid, and deeply satisfying when it clicks. The story unfolds quietly but lands hard. It touches on life's meaning, the burden of death, and what remains when all seems lost. The characters are odd yet deeply human, and bosses carry stories that make you feel something when you bring them down. The art direction turns simple environments into unforgettable moments. Death's Door is proof that a small game can feel massive without losing its soul. Built by just 2 developers, it delivers more personality, challenge, and emotion than many blockbusters. A short but intense journey, the kind that echoes in your head for days after. A Short Hike is simple in premise, but huge in heart. You play as a young bird named Claire, heading up a mountain to find cell reception. That's it. But what begins as a basic climb turns into a peaceful journey full of freedom, curious encounters, and small, meaningful discoveries. The pixel-style 3D visuals are colorful, light, and brimming with charm. Gameplay is all about exploring at your pace. You could head straight for the peak, but you'll want to wander, fish, run, glide, and chat with the island's residents. Each one has something to share. Some funny, some touching. It's the kind of game where getting lost is more rewarding than staying on track. And the act of flying, it feels like pure peace. The story is light, but layered. Claire's not just climbing, she's waiting for something, escaping something, or maybe just trying to breathe. There's no villain, no high drama, just space to slow down and let the world surprise you with its quiet beauty. A Short Hike is brief, but it stays with you. It's a perfect example of how indie games can move you without saying much. A cozy, heartfelt hug in game form, and a reminder that sometimes all we need is a quiet walk with no destination. If you enjoyed the list, hit that like button and subscribe. There are so many more incredible games waiting to be discovered. And drop a comment, which of these indies grabbed your attention? Or better yet, what indie game blew you away and made AAA feel small in comparison? I'm always checking the comments and taking notes for future videos. There's a video linked in the card with 22 games that completely surprised me. The kind you try without expectations and end up loving. Just click to watch, I'm sure they'll win you over too.